Contribution de l'Union européenne à la lutte contre Ebola. Donc on commence par M. Hans-Peter Schadek, chef de division Afrique occidentale au service européen pour l'action extérieure.
Merci, Madame la modératrice. Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, I will be brief, and of course I don't have the specified and detailed knowledge that many of the experts around the table have. Just a few general words, because the EU response to the crisis, I think, will be explained in more detail by my colleagues. So just to say that we are confronted to an unprecedented crisis, and the prospects are still quite worrying. If the numbers we hear about how the disease will develop over the coming months, it is really worrying, and time is, I think, of the essence in responding to that. So you all know that the international mobilization is at the highest level now. The UN Security Council addressed the issue. The US President addressed the issue. And of course in Europe, the EU is also fully committed and alerted about the crisis. We had several high-level meetings already on 15th of September, for instance. This will continue to be on top of the agenda here in Brussels and also in the capitals. So financial contributions have been stepped up and are still surging, and there are also quite intensive in-kind and in-staff contributions. It's very difficult to give numbers to this, but if you add it all together, what the EU institutions and what the member states have been announced and are mobilizing now, it is counted in hundreds of millions of euros. I think there's a very substantial effort there. Not everything reached the field yet, but we are committed to continue these efforts. So maybe let me point just to one or two more aspects. One is certainly diplomatic outreach. We heard about the negative impacts of isolating countries, disrupting trade flows, etc. So we are trying to be in dialogue with the governments and institutions worldwide to go in the sense that this should be avoided wherever it is possible. We need to have trade, and we need to have people moving around to limit the economic impact as well. And then maybe one last point, which is very important, and I think the ambassador of Ghana referred to it as well. It's preparedness. Countries that are not infected yet need to be prepared to be in a position to contain if ever the virus arises. We have seen successful stories in Senegal and Nigeria where it has been contained. The damage has been limited, and I think this is where we can do very, very good investments of our resources. And I think that everybody is invited to invest as much as can be done to avoid that the virus spreads whenever it arrives in a given country. So let me stop here. I think just to tell you that on the coming Monday, Ebola is on the agenda of the Foreign Affairs Council. It will be discussed extensively. It will also be addressed by European leaders a couple of days later at the European Council. And I may also reassure Ambassador Silla that the idea of a conference on Ebola in Brussels is brought to the attention of the incoming EU leadership that will take over on 1st of November. So I think please take back that we are fully aware of the importance of the ongoing crisis and that the level of commitment is very high on our side. Thank you very much.
Oui, merci M. Schadek pour votre concision. Madame Anna Koll, chef d'unité adjoint responsable secteur Mano River, donc faites de même.
Merci beaucoup. Excellencies and esteemed guests, just briefly, I would like to share the concerns that have been raised around the table about the nature and gravity of the crisis, and that the Commission recognises the multifaceted nature of this crisis, touching both the health sector, the macroeconomic framework, agriculture and education, for example. For this reason, the Commission has the European Union has developed a multifaceted response. I won't go into the detail, but further breakdown of exactly what that means is, of course, available on our website and in various press briefings. But broadly, it's a 145 million package which covers a multifaceted response through budget support to cushion the macroeconomic impact of countries, currently to Sierra Leone and Liberia, and we are examining very closely support to Guinea and how we might be able to do that through budget support if the conditions within the country are met. Other aspects of the response package cover mobile laboratories in 3 countries. A 4th one will be sent out. Health workers through the African Union mechanism to have health workers in Sierra Leone, Guinea and Liberia. And also wider support to health systems in countries looking towards the response and recovery phase. Perhaps also I would like to mention that we share the concerns on preparedness, and with the EES we will certainly look in to see how we can support the neighbouring countries in preparedness in view of the crisis. We will continue to work with our partners and certainly through strategic coordination mechanisms so that we can remain attentive to the needs on the ground. Thank you very
much. Donc, je représente la DG ECHO, l'aide humanitaire, la protection civile de la Commission européenne. Donc, je vais utiliser mes 2 minutes au mieux, j'espère. Quelques chiffres. En termes d'aide humanitaire, on est à peu près actuellement à 42 millions d'euros. On a commencé tout de suite, dès le début de l'épidémie, à répondre au mois de mars avec l'envoi d'experts sur le terrain. Et notre travail principal, c'est d'aider, donc de soutenir financièrement nos partenaires, dont certains sont dans la salle, comme l'OMS, en général l'Agence des Nations Unies, les ONG et le système de la Croix-Rouge sur le terrain. Donc cette réponse a été progressivement augmentée et, comme je disais, maintenant a atteint un certain niveau. Au-delà de ça, on essaye aussi de coordonner à travers le centre de réponse des crises qui est basé à DG ECHO au niveau interinstitutionnel avec toutes les directions générales de la Commission qui sont concernées, dont ma collègue DEVCO, les transports, la santé, etc. Et pour avoir une réponse coordonnée. Donc on a mis en place un système de coordination qui se réunit tous les jours avec aussi les États membres afin que la réponse de l'Union européenne soit effectivement coordonnée et aussi bien en termes d'assistance financière que d'assistance en nature, parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'États membres notamment qui vont envoyer de l'aide en nature. Je dirais encore un mot par rapport à les évacuations médicales. C'était un problème qui a été soulevé déjà. Il y a besoin sur le terrain de renforcer les équipes médicales. Il y a un manque de personnel médical, mais les organisations humanitaires ont du mal à recruter du personnel médical parce qu'il y a beaucoup de peur par rapport justement à être infecté et ne pas être évacué à temps. Donc ce problème est en cours de solution. Il y a disons des sociétés privées qui étaient contactées et qui devraient assurer ces services pour compte de la Commission européenne qui va soutenir financièrement ces problèmes. Aussi, les moyens civils et parfois militaires des États membres pourront être mobilisés les cas échéants. Donc, cette solution va être mise en place dans les jours qui viennent et déjà en bonne route. Voilà, je vous remercie de votre attention.